G'day guys, how you going? It's Jay here from Journey of a Whitefeather out here in the country of Australia. Look at this. This is what it's all about. Have a look at this. The sun, the earth is here. What can I say? I've got my two great friends here, and this is Life Theories episode God knows what
62.
2,
Yeah.
62. So I'd like to welcome everyone and thank everyone for such a wonderful year. We've had such a big 2024. I mean, from me traveling and doing my rock tour and meeting my beautiful little pixie friend over in South Australia, in Vancouver, it's been a wonderful growth year. And look, we were off camera talking about some of the things that we've been aware of this year. Excuse me. And I'd like to welcome our co-hosts or hosts or co-hosts from the USA. We have Diana from Trailblazer of the Universe, and we have the lovely Sarah over here, the Wellness Witch from
I
Vancouver.
really like that title. That's a great title. That's like
So what we're
perfect.
it is, and this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take it to the panel now. We're talking about what we've been doing the last year and who we really are, and we're looking within ourselves to find out exactly what all these what I call the back belter gifts. What are we offering? Not even what are we offering? What have we become? What are we doing for society? I mean, everyone has to have a title, and can you be comfortable with that title? And for my example is I was trying to work out because I mean I'm going to be straight out. I reckon life coach. The name is a frigging catchword. Okay, there's probably great life coaches out there, but the fucking catchword is bullshit. I agree because it's got a bit of a stigmatism, which we'll talk about. I've called myself a motivational coach because I'm a hype man. I have beans in me all the time. Everyone says you're the best hype man around. And what I do is I do motivate. And it's basically with me for motivation, I've got anything to motivate people to be their best self, whether it be health, wealth, whatever it may be. And we can work from there. That's just the summary. Ladies, I'm going to go over to you because we're going to be better than the view because we are better than the fucking view. There you go. Clickbait that.
No comparison.
Clickbait that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Better
okay.
than the
Sarah,
hashtag better than the view.
Oh my gosh.
God, have I opened up a can of worms? Okay, Di, we'll go into it. You're better than the view, but we were talking off air about what you are, what's your title, what are you doing? You got all this great stuff. You said you become you've done a few courses in angelic healing.
It's
The
like
last couple of
IET,
weeks.
yeah, integrated energy
IET.
healing. Yeah,
You can, I'll let
or
you
integrated
explain
energy
it.
therapy.
But what does that open up for you? Because we had a great chat offline to say, okay, what am I actually doing? What have I incumbents? And I'll talk about my book, why my book has really helped me out. Go.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we're multidimensional. We have different talents, different skills, different interests, as we should. But I think our society is so programmed to like put you in a box. That's niche. And of course, business, you have to have a niche, whatever. But I have a lot of things that I'm interested in that I'm, talented at or that I want to pursue. But when I was trying to give a title for myself, I'm like, and I only have a short amount of space to put in my Facebook and my Instagram, I'm trying to like put a title to really hone in on what I'm doing, like what I'm offering, especially if I'm trying to build a business off of it. So for me, I'm on the terms of, healer is obviously that could be anything. So I put IET, whatever, because that is what I just got certified in. I'm not as advanced in Reiki, but I'm, on the path there. And then coaching is pretty much what I already do in content creation, right? So it's like integrating all these together in one. Trying to put that into one word, that's tough, but, I think it's just integrating all of it together.
Could I ask you? Okay, here you go. I'm going to ask you, right? Because we're in this world of, catchwords and people, people looking for someone to believe in, looking for find them, not even to find themselves. They're waking up, right? And then the media has bastardized half this stuff, as Sarah will talk about in a minute. Where do you think we and what you're doing is going to how are you going to make the greatest impact? And find exactly and give yourself a title of exactly what you're doing. Because if you go up and say to someone, go, okay, and this is coming from experience. what are you going to come and tell people? Like you're going to go, I'm Diana and I do healing, I do this, I do that. So where are you at with it? So what do you encompass? Are you gonna let the universe help you out in this way?
I think it's okay to not have it all figured out. That's what I'm learning is the surrender. It's like I'm going to develop this as I go, and I have already changed the title. I don't want to get so hung up on the title because I honestly think that kind of limits you because then you're trying to fit all these things into
Okay.
one. So yeah, healer, coach, okay. I was trying to find whatever,
Yeah.
like you said, you're a motivational coach, a transformational. I actually looked up all these coaches to see. I think
Yeah.
alignment, transformational things like that. So I just put coach for now because well, there's only so much room on the damn on the little title, but
Yeah. On
I'm
the
trying not to
title,
get
mate. Yeah.
so yeah. It's like, well, I actually had it all like the kind of coach, and then it's like, oh, it's over the amount of characters. I was like, damn, man. So I'm just trying to keep it more basic. I think you should just more show with your actions. Like start to do the healing sessions if you're a healer. Start to book the sessions, do practice sessions. I've been doing that. I'm acting as if I'm trying to get in the mindset and absorb the knowledge of that, which I've done. Right, you take the course, whatever. You have the mindset and you're kind of like acting as if you just keep stepping into that more and more and you can change it as you go, like you can keep adding these things and I think it will come to you more as you go, but do what feels authentic to you, what resonates, like Sarah's Wellness Witch. That's a great title, that's very unique for
Oh
her, but that
yeah.
describes perfectly what she does. So sometimes just let it come to you, like stop. I think my advice to myself is always stop trying to figure it out. We're always trying to in the mind intellectualize something, just like let it come to
That's
you. It will
great,
make
great
sense.
advice.
One day the word will come. Someone will say it'll be a synchronous, like letting it come to me and which is what feels natural. It's okay to change it. You can change it anytime. There's no one person that's gonna be like, Jay, you're not a motivational coach, like you're this. I mean, there are at people that are like negative and stuff, but I'm just saying like it's your choice. You just step into it. You just keep showing up as that version, whatever that is. Okay, you do all these things, that's great. And you can like people have business websites where they have multiple services, right? We see all the time with spiritual practitioners or just anyone. Like they might do Reiki here, they might do some kind of
I
light
think you gave
clearing,
I think
crystal
I
clearing,
think I
aura clearing, yeah, like Akashic Records. You just keep adding the skills and then just what title can
I
encompass all of that, and just keep showing up
spiritual
every day.
practitioner. Spiritual practitioner. Okay.
Yeah. There's
All
a
right,
good
Sarah.
one that
All
a
right,
good
Sarah,
one.
off you go.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say a good one that I like is there's Ira actually, the girl that you introduced us to,
Yeah,
Jay.
all right. Yeah,
She
metaphysical
was for a
coach.
while a metaphysical guide or
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
metaphysical advisor, and I
Yeah.
really liked that title. I feel like that encompasses quite a lot as well, without using the buzzword spiritual or spirituality, which unfortunately, like through some of the Netflix documentaries and media coverage that um, New Wave spiritualism has received lately, it just kind of puts a sour taste in people's mouth because
Yeah.
people are
Yes.
using spirituality as a way to step in and try to become everybody's guru and use it as a way of controlling specific sections of the population
Yeah.
for their own personal gain, creating cults and things like that.
Yeah.
Like there's all these documentaries, like that Twin Flames guy on like his whole
Netflix.
spiritual. When it comes to Diana earlier, you were saying like I don't like the word coach. I
Everybody's a damn coach, like spiritual coach.
Yeah,
Like I need a
and I
different
get it.
word. I want to be a unique word, but I still want to describe what I do all encompassing of. So it's like,
Yeah, and no, I totally get that. I was going to touch a
Hype
little bit
man.
on. I just finished up a really amazing like coaching pod for 3 months with a beautiful practitioner named Andrea Tessier. She does IFS, which is internal family systems or parts work.
oh, cool.
And that was just one of the most transformational, amazing programs that I jumped into over the last little bit here. And when you're looking at like, okay, you're trying to give yourself a title, there's one word that actually works, which is coach, but it's just finding the word that goes in front of it, right? Like what
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
coach are you? But you
Yeah.
just don't like the word coach. It's about looking at the parts of you that get uncomfortable or triggered around that word and
Ooh,
getting
that's a good one.
curious with those parts of yourself that are like,
Shadow work.
I don't like that, I don't resonate with that, and start getting curious with that. It's like what makes you feel
It's a good way
uncomfortable.
of looking at it. That's a great
Oh,
way of
wow.
looking at it.
Yeah, and like instead of being like, I'm not going to call myself that because I'm uncomfortable, find out what part of you is actually uncomfortable with that and get curious with that part of you and be like, what is it about this word that makes you uncomfortable? What is it about this label that, you know, you think people might look down at us upon if we use it? And start actually getting really curious with that part of yourself as if it's another person, and just like start asking it all the questions around that, like, what can I do to make you feel comfortable around this word? Is there something that you can suggest? And start like really asking these parts of
That's
yourself different
cool. Yeah.
questions to get curious with it. And then like with spending enough time with that part of you that's uncomfortable with that word, maybe over time you'll notice that that part really isn't that uncomfortable with the word anymore, because you've spent time getting curious with it about what makes it uncomfortable, and be like, okay, well, what can I do to help you alleviate these stresses or these fears or these anxieties around that word? What do you need to step into a more comfortable position when this word is being used? And like,
Maybe I. Sorry, keep
yeah.
going. Sorry.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, just to like start getting curious with the parts of yourself that become triggered when you hear certain words. And like
Yeah.
when you get triggered, just be like, oh, hold on a second. There's a part of me right now that's activated. There's a part of me right now that's not feeling comfortable. What can I give that part to start helping them to feel seen and heard? What do they need in order to start bringing more comfort into the situation for myself? And start looking at the parts of yourself like they're a whole other person, and holding space for them with compassion and compassion, caring, and curiosity, and really give them the nurturance that they need in order for them to feel comfortable in these uncomfortable situations. Because a lot
Okay.
of times, like when you're in self energy and your
Yeah.
parts aren't running amok and running the show, you're constantly in a state of compassion, caring, curiosity, and you're always just open to all of these different things, and you'll ask questions, and you'll become very very loving and compassionate to all of the other people around you and their parts that might be triggered when you speak. So
Okay.
it's about coming
Here's
back
one.
into self energy by holding space for the parts of yourself that become activated, that are anything less than compassionate, curious, and caring to the situation.
Here's one for you. I'll give it. I'll put it to both of you, right? So when I met Blackie Lawless from Wasp, right, one of the most intellectually smart men that I've ever seen and ever heard. Okay, so I will go into that what it is basically later, but he's got an aura about him, and he found Christianity, right? Got his faith back within himself. Now, to say what you were saying, to worry about to let things come for others, you have to let things come for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said to me, to get to the greatest gift you will get, and is to become authentic. Now, to become authentic, you've got to go to places where you have to feel the most discomfort in your life.
Yep.
The most hurt and the most discomfort, and that's going to be your greatest growth.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that, and that's, as a creative artist, as what we are, or what we're doing, creating, and obviously becoming aware within ourselves. That stood out to me
Yeah.
when he said, yeah, because he wrote The Crimson Idol, and I asked him exactly. I go, what mindset were you in? And he looked at me, right, and I told him straight out I had a mental breakdown, and for me, he really appreciated my honesty, because you've got to be truthful and let people in, and you've got to have the trust to let people in, but also have the trust within yourself to talk about things. So talk about your life. That's where I'll talk a bit about later, but I wrote 15 lessons I received when I woke the fuck up. You can catch it now. It's a free book. Email me quick. There you go. Okay, that's a really bad one. But yeah, what do you think about that? The key is being your authentic self. So that
Yeah.
comes
And
into what you're talking about.
he's essentially talking about parts work, because it is about finding your truth and your authenticity underneath all of those parts that get activated because of a trauma, because of an experience, because of something unpleasant that might have happened to you, or something that somebody said to you that creates this triggering experience within you. Those depths of yourself, or those parts of yourself
Shadow work.
that, you know, step forward as a way, as like a protective mechanism to try to keep you safe, to try to keep you in situations that are familiar, because these parts of ourselves are actually stuck at where they heard that thing, where that experience happened to them.
Yeah.
And when you get really curious with these parts, you can even ask them, how old do you think I am? And a lot of times you'll be surprised at, like, they'll shoot back at you like 8 years old. Or you can ask them, what year do you think it is? They'll be like 1991, 1997. They'll bring you back to the parts of your life where you heard that thing that created that belief, where you experienced that thing happening to you, where it created that trauma within. So these parts of ourselves that become very activated are usually stuck in time at a part
Yeah.
of our life
I
where
see that.
somebody said something negative to us, did something negative to us, you know, created these traumas and these triggers within our minds. So when you start to really like break down these parts and like get curious with them, you can like bring them up to speed and be like, oh, you think it's 97? It's actually 2024. And these are all of the amazing things that we've done since that time that you've been stuck in. And you can start sharing with them,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, all of the experiences that you've been through that are the opposite of what is making them triggered, and start really showing them, like, hey, you know, like, this is how far we've come. Like, you might think you're not good enough, but since that period in 1997 where you got stuck in the not good enough feeling, we've, you know, won awards. We've, you know, made some really cool new friends who are like in really awesome positions that can like really help uplift us. We've, you know, gotten this new career, or like gotten these degrees and all of these certifications. Like, look at how far we've come since that moment that you're stuck in. And like, what can I do to show you more of these good things that have happened to bring you out of that not good enough feeling? Like, how much more
Well,
proof do you need? Right.
what about us? Have a look what we're doing. Di, what do you reckon? I mean, look at us. Look what we've done. I mean, we wouldn't be talking like I look. We wouldn't be talking like this as such. Well, even a couple of years ago. I mean, we've been doing this for like nearly 3 years, I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And we're doing, well, we used to do it every week and all this stuff, but we're coming. I'm believing that, you know, obviously these are done when we can, and I think the universe is guiding us to where just to do it, to actually so we can learn more, and we're having more deeper discussions. Exactly what we're doing now, really deep discussions, especially one we had when I was over. We had a 2.5 hour one when I was with Sarah in July.
Mm-hmm.
What do you reckon, guys?
Well, I think this kind of goes into our topic of like what we learned this year of different lessons we went through and things we're working on. Um, we have made a lot of changes, and we should be proud of how far we come. Like, look at, man, go back to episode 1 of Life Theory. Just go back to one of those, or episode 20. Like, even 10 episodes ago, we you can see what we're thinking of and we're focused on is very different because
Yeah.
we've been doing a lot of work on ourselves. And um, for me, it's a lot of the lessons I learned have to do with releasing attachments, especially with like and even trauma around like family relationships, things like that. I've been really working on those areas because I feel like honestly those areas have really like bogged me down. And Sarah talks about going back to like what's the moment, where does that trauma start from? It probably starts when you're a kid, you know, like and I'm always talking about physical trauma, I'm talking about emotional, like for me it's more emotional trauma. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
where does but that even goes into what we're doing now when we're trying to identify the coach thing and or try to put everything we do into one thing. It's like wait, I lost my train of thought. Some of that comes from like trauma or like limiting beliefs or unworthiness, or I even get a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like I just got certified in this IAT stuff. That's cool. And I've done some practice sessions, but even me like offering a session right now, I want to practice on people, maybe y'all, I can do one
Yeah,
on
I
you.
want
Well,
to get in on that.
I'm happy to.
yeah,
I'm happy to. I'm happy to help
I
you out.
also I've done it only in person. I haven't done remote on that. So she said you can get like a doll and like pretend it's a person. Like it's still energy, but that's very new for me. I've never
Yeah.
done that. I actually really like the in person because you do more pressure points. You're triggering certain things and you're pulling out of the energy field, and then
Oh,
you're
cool.
like integrating it with the
But
new
Di,
angelic energy and stuff, releasing the attachments. So that's like limiting beliefs. It's like just not feeling good enough and always maybe trying to do more. Maybe like I know for me, I think my thing with maybe perfectionism, which I've really tried to work on this year, it's like, why does everything have
yeah,
to be perfect? Like, I'm just starting. Like, I just got certified in this. I just practiced. It's okay to be imperfect. I even noticed this came up when in my sessions when I was practicing on her. I felt very insecure when she wasn't mean or anything, but she just teaching me to tell me how to do it, right? Because I gave a session. I actually did pretty good with it, but just the little specifics of energy work and like the pressure points. But even me, I went back to my dad like criticizing me about things not being right in the way that he wanted to. It's like the narcissist kind of parent kind of thing. So like I know a lot of my stuff with criticism comes from that. Like constructive criticism sometimes is hard for me. It's not even about what other people think of me. For me, it's what I think of me. It's like, but why do I
Yeah.
need to put this perfect image? Like, and that kind of goes back to that. And that's where I'm learning to balance my life too. Like this year, I'm more about balancing, resting, and I don't need to keep putting all this content out, which I am still doing, but I am backing off a little bit. I'm like, hey, I can rest today. I can work out. I can do things I enjoy today. I don't need to keep doing this. Like, who am I trying to prove myself to? Or like, I know I'm trying to get stuff in the algorithm. I'm trying to develop and get myself out there, but sometimes it's coming from a deeper place. It's more than just that. It's like I do this overworking thing where I just do so much and then I get burnt out and then sometimes I don't get the result I want and then I get frustrated and I keep doing more. It's just like a cycle. So that's something I've really learned to work more with my feminine energy and like sit back a little bit and reflect and let everything integrate.
trust.
I don't need to do it all right now. Even this, what I'm doing, I don't need to figure out today. I can still do practice sessions and work on my packages and how I'm going to do all that. I don't need to overwhelm myself and like run away from it because sometimes you overwhelm yourself. Sometimes you do so much, it's so outside of your comfort zone, or you do too many changes and like you almost shut down. It's like a fawn, like a deer, whatever, right? It's like
Yeah.
you kind of freeze. Yeah. It's
Just
like a
get the
trauma
magic.
Right.
response.